What's up, dudes? Welcome to yet another rant slash talk thing. I actually got brought to my attention that although I called my previous video rant, I'm not really ranting. For that I have to be, angry and upset and all that shit. And also, I want to apologise for the fact that I haven't been uploading that much. It's Christmas, this shit is going to happen. So, but I'll be back up and running by this Monday. Okay, enough of that shit. Let's get down to business. A previous comment on my last rant, which was this. And so, of course, I will honour this comment and do a rant explaining Storm Raiders and Courage of the Colossus and how they compare to each other, obviously on Darius. So let's go. So in the last rant, as you may remember, I talked about items. To be precise, specific ones like Iceborne Gauntlet, Death Stance, reworked Locket of the Iron Solari, etc. And it was good, and as I expected, I got some disagreed a little or a lot, but some agreed a little or a lot. In fact, guys, if you was inspired to try what I said or any of the items I mentioned in the previous rant, then leave a nice comment. Tell me, dudes, and tell me if it worked as well, because if it worked and if it didn't work for some people, then maybe I should do another rant explaining maybe why it didn't work, or etc. So this time with our rant, we are going to talk about keystones. Interesting shit, to be honest. In fact, quite a topic that yet again doesn't really have a wrong or a right. It just depends on whether you as a player can utilize it effectively enough, or simply if you just like it and work well with it. So let's start with that new one I love on Darius, Courage of the Colossus. I admit it, it sounds fucking badass. The moment I knew there was going to be a better version of Strength of the Ages, I was fucking over the moon, mate. Then when I saw the stats it gave, holy moly, they were good. Instantly knew it was going to get a nerf. Instantly. And it did, but not by much. It was 2% max health if I remember rightly. At least not enough for me to stop using it anyway. Right, let's go on to Courage of the Colossus. So, there it is, for starters. You gain a shield for 20 to 190 base. Of course, depends on your level, plus 5% of your maximum HP, plus times that by the number of enemy champs nearby. And this has a CD by 45 seconds to 30 seconds. That also depends on your level. So let's figure this shit out. I'm, let's say, a level 18 Darius with 5k HP, which is normally the case, full build for me anyway. That would give me a solid 190 plus 5%, which equals 190 plus 250, which is a 440 shield, with one enemy present. With 2, 3, 4 and 5, that is 690 shield for 2, 940 shield for 3, 1180 for 4, and 1420 for 5 every 30 seconds. It's amazing. And certainly something Darius needs. It's so good that I don't even need to normally build my normal Sterax with this keystone. What's it good for? What is it good for? Well, it's good for defending yourself versus burst mostly. If you are going versus certain champs in lane like Yasuo or a Teemo or any champ that has some kind of burst, it either absorbs it all or reduces it by a lot. I normally take it versus a heavy stun comp team, like Alistar and a Lissandra and an Annie and an Ahri, a Kled, etc. Those kind of champions. So what is it bad versus? It doesn't last forever, and so much like Barrier, it's best versus burst. So champs that have a lot of DPS or low damage and more overtime sort of thing, Courage of the Colossus isn't best versus that. Champs with silences like Garen are good versus it, as obviously as Darius you can't pop it off with your E while silenced, and so I guess to counter that you just pull before they're silenced. But it's annoying, silences. Jesus Christ. So that's Courage of the Colossus over and done with, pretty much. Onto another keystone that I take on Darius, which is the one and only Storm Raiders. Fuck me, I love this fucking keystone. This keystone is amazing on Darius. When you are versus a very heavy poke, slow comp like Lissandra, Ashe, Karthus, and especially Nasus. But what exactly does it do? Well, my fellow Dunklords, let's take a fucking look. Storm Raiders, dealing 30% of a champion's max HP within 2.5 seconds, grants you a 40% movement speed buff and 75% slow resist for 3 seconds, and has a 10% cooldown. You know, it just makes me feel good just reading it out, you know. Let's pick up on some points though. So later we can obviously compare Storm Raiders to Courage of the Colossus and see what they both mount in terms of impact. What is it good for? To be honest with you, you are practically and typically eliminating slows whilst getting a big plus in movement speed too. You think if Storm Raiders gets popped, that 15% maximum amount of slow that the enemy can put on you will be cancelled out by the 40% movement speed it gives you anyway, leading to you only having more move speed for a solid 3 seconds. That is enough time to get a full combo off, or to get to the ADC, even if they pop flash or heal, or both for that matter. It's just exactly what a Darius needs. Now, what exactly isn't it good for, / against? And that is stuns. This keystone is very specific in what it's for, and that is speed above all. So when you are greeted by an angry Sedge, Lissandra, Braum, or Nautilus, and of course there's more, but when you are met in a team fight with such amazing stuns that these champions offer, you are almost guaranteed to barely use any of that 3 seconds Storm Raiders provides. So that is Storm Raiders' main weakness really. The rest of it is good. Its cooldown is nice and short, the stats are amazing and good enough, but it's heavily weak versus Storm Raiders. The stuns are really heavy. Fuck me. Stuns. Oh, it's Storm Raiders' weakness. Jesus Christ. Courage of the Colossus versus Storm Raiders. Let's get to the last bit before I fuck the whole thing up. Now, of course, every Darius player does play differently. It is true. You know, some play aggressive and some play quite mixed between passive and aggressive, depending on whether you want to provide appeal or protection for your ADC. And so that in itself should tell you your answer to what you should take on Darius. Now, most Darius players will have this driving ego. Now, that even I have, okay? I admit it. An ego of just going into a team fight and just fucking everything up, you can see. You know, that's the kind of like mentality that a Darius player has. And you kind of have to get rid of it, you know, when you get into higher elo, because it just doesn't help you at all. You know, and it does happen like that sometimes, but not all the time. And when it comes to securing a game as Darius, you know, you have to go nice and deep and understand what it is that is needed versus the comp that you're versus playing as Darius. So let's get to the whole impact side of things. Let's start to compare Courage of the Colossus to Storm Raiders and just get to the last bit. Courage of the Colossus. First of all, you use it versus burst and versus stun/heavy comps /stun heavy comps. Second point, it's good for resisting combos and good for doing them yourself and winning trades you wouldn't normally win. So for example, if you are against a Riven, they will normally, what they'll do is they will dash in with their shield, they will combo you a little bit with their Q. No, they'd normally dash in, they'd stun you, combo you a little bit with a Q, and then they'd fuck off. It's as simple as that. Normally you can pull it back, but a smart Riven would do it to the point where you can't do anything, and they're fucked off, and they've won the trade. So that's a good example of something that would happen. If you see them dash in, you know, you'd E them first of all, and you'd resist some of their burst, and it might even be able to combo yourself to counter it, etc, etc. It's really good. So let's go on Storm Raiders. Use it versus a heavy slow comp. It's good at getting to the ADC and also good at scaring/baiting ADCs and mid laners into using their sums unnecessarily. And that's something that I notice a lot, and it's something when you start using Storm Raiders a lot in your gameplay, you'll notice that you can bait ADCs, any of their team really, to be honest, in using summoner spells, because they think, fuck, I've got this fucking Darius train coming right at me with Storm Raiders. My slows are going to matter for fucking nothing, and they'll flash away, and it's amazing. You know, and even if they would have thought through, I'm not going to win this. I'd actually win this fight anyway. It doesn't matter because they just see you running towards them with Storm Raiders popped, and they're just like, fuck this, I'm out, and they'll flash out, which is fucking amazing. Another point, it has amazing stats, and the cooldown is very low. I mean, 10 seconds is quite low. I hope this has helped you in deciphering which one is better for you, but don't let your ego take over. Use them both, man. Just use them where they are needed. You know, take my advice and see if it works. If you get a really heavy stun comp that you're against, take Curse of the Colossus. If you're against the heavy slows, take Storm Raiders. And do that every single game for, let's say, 10, 15, 20 games. Come back to the comment section, tell me what you think. Tell me if this worked. I mean, I'd love to know. I mean, this is my own opinion. This is what I've come across in the past. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, leave a comment if it helped. You know, leave a like if you like this. And of course, sub if you want to see more. And as usual, motherfucking peace.